Hello everyone. Now that we're done teaching you about WordPress, it's time to move on to building your website with actual coding. The first thing we're going to learn is HTML, then CSS, followed by Bootstrap, JavaScript, which will be used for the front end of web. Now, this tutorial is made to teach you about the interface we'll be using to code our web, called Visual Studio Code, or VSCode for short. Now, take note, when you install your VS Code, it will look like this. It will bring you to the welcome page of VS Code, but it won't look like my own. But I will take you through the process of downloading, installing, and setting up your VS Code so that you can code your web efficiently. Now, the reason why I'll be teaching you VS Code is because VS Code is the most common and popular HTML editor out there currently. There are other HTML editors like Atom, Bracket, Sublime Text, but VS Code is one of the most popular and one of the most user-friendly, and you will enjoy using it, I promise. So, to download your VS Code, let's get to downloading our VS Code so that we can install it on our Windows PC or whatever PC you're using at the moment. The first thing you want to do is to open up your browser and just search for VS Code download. This will bring you to this page that will show you the official site for downloading Visual Studio Code to your system, code.visualstudio.com. This is the official site, and Visual Studio Code it's free, and you don't need to pay anybody, you don't need to pay for anything, you don't need to sign up anything. Okay, so always go and download it from the official site right here. Click on the link and it will take you to the page where you can download it for either Windows, Linux, or Mac OS. Depending on your system type, you can choose any of the three. So I'm going to click on Windows, and all you have to do is click on this button right here, and your download will start automatically. If it doesn't start, you can click on this link right here to download it. Look at my own is already downloaded. So I'm not going to wait for this to complete. I'm going to cancel. I'm going to pause the video here, and when I come back, we'll continue with the installation. Okay, everyone. Now that we're done downloading our VS Code, all you have to do to install the VS Code is click on your download icon here in your browser and click on the VS Code file you just downloaded. But if you do not see the download icon and you do not see the VS Code file you just downloaded, you can simply click on your file explorer in your Windows and head straight to your download folder. You should see the VS Code file right there in your downloads folder. If you do not see it there, head to whichever folder you set up for downloading your files. Once you're done, all you have to do is double click on the VS Code app and it will load the VS Code installation interface, which is right here. So, first things first, all you have to do is click on the accept agreement. Then you click on next. It will give you some other options. Click on next until you get to this page here. And all you have to do is check all these boxes. Make sure all of them are checked and then click on next again. And in this last part, now that our VS Code is done downloading, what we need to do is to launch the VS Code. After the installation, you should see that this box should be checked. Launch Visual Studio Code. Sorry about that. So once this box is checked, all you have to do is click on finish. Then wait for the VS Code to start up. So the VS Code is going to take a little bit to start up, since it's going to be your first time. But again, it's pretty normal. No need for alarm. It should take you to the VS Code welcome page. Now, your welcome page will look different from mine, but again, no need to cause alarm. It is not an issue whatsoever. It is just that it's the first time you're installing Visual Studio Code. Moving on. Now that we're in our Visual Studio Code, the first thing we have to do is set it up. We want our Visual Studio Code to be a comfortable place for us to work in. To do that, you come to your settings icon right here, and then you head to your themes. That is, we need to set up the themes to set up the look and feel of our VS Code. Now, this depends on you. The VS Code has its own inbuilt themes, or you can go and download some extra themes online from VS Code. So I'm going to show you how to set up the themes VS Code has. So if you go to settings, go to themes, you can go to color themes. From these color themes here, you can select either the light Visual Studio or the dark Visual Studio. Those two themes are the follow-come themes that came with Visual Studio Code. Okay, that is the light Visual Studio or the dark Visual Studio, depending on which one you prefer. If you want more color themes for your VS Code, all you have to do is come up here and click on browse additional color themes. If you click on this while your system is online, it will search for the several themes it has in its marketplace. And remember, the themes are free. You don't have to pay for anything. Okay? You just have to wait for it to search for the themes, and then it will give you a list of themes where you can choose from. So you can see a lot of them here. Now I already have mine, and the one I prefer using is this one. Theme, color theme. Ayu Mirage. This is the one I use. You don't have to use the one I'm using. Okay, now that we're done with the theme, you can also set up the file icon theme. I'll show you my favorite theme. I go to settings, go to themes, go to file icon theme. The one I use is the VSCode icon theme. Again, you can choose any other icon theme you wish to use for yourself. This is your VSCode, it is your interface, it is your PC, it is your way. So feel free to explore these features of VSCode. Now that we're done with this, let's get to creating folders and files with VSCode. To create a folder or a new file with VSCode, there are two ways we can go about this. First of all, you click on your File Explorer icon here. Then you go to File up here and you go to Open Folder. The reason why you should head down to Open Folder is this. When you are working on a website, when you want to start building a website, the first thing you need to do is create a folder for that website. Okay, so that is why you go to File here. When you click on your file, head straight to Open Folder, click on it. When you do this, it will open the Windows dialog box. What you have to do here is to choose the location where you want to save your folder to. I'm going to choose my document in this scenario. Now that I've chosen my document, all I have to do is create a new file. To create a new folder. To create a new folder, I click on the new folder icon here. Then I give the folder a name. I'm going to call the name of the folder VSCode Intro. Press enter to save the name of the folder. And then I'm going to press select folder. So my VS Code is going to reload, and when it is done reloading, it will show me my folder name right on this edge, right here. You can see my folder name here, VS Code Intro. Okay, the reason why you must create a folder when you're building a site is because the way the VS Code works is that it compiles your code. Right? It compiles your code. Whenever you want to run your code, it is going to compile it with its inbuilt compiler. It's going to compile it and output it to your browser. That is why you need a folder for this. The folder is like a directory. The folder is a directory, or let me say a directive that tells the VS Code that, okay, this is the entirety of what you need to compile at the moment. So now that we have our folder icon here, we need to create our files. There are two ways to create our files in VS Code. The first way is to go to File, click on New Text File here. In this new text file, before you do anything, go back to File and save this. When you click on Save, it will open your Windows dialog box once more. You should see your folder name up here, indicating that the file you're about to create is going to save directly into this folder here. Now, in the Save As type, click here, then select HTML. Right here. When you select this, in the file name, give it a name. Let's give it a name, index. And just click Save. And when you're done, you should see your file displayed right here on the left-hand side of the VS Code, index.html. If you don't want your files to be displayed on the left-hand side of the VS Code and you want it to display on the right-hand side of the VS Code, that's pretty easy. All you have to do is click, go to View, go to Appearance, or what? Editor Layout. And you can split it from here. Or go to Appearance and split it from here. Look at it. We have the primary sidebar here. You can click on secondary sidebar, and it will display your secondary sidebar over here. The main thing is you can do whatever you want it to do. All you have to do is set it up. So back to the VS Code right here. Let me turn off my secondary sidebar. Sorry. Good. So back to our file that is here. That is one way to create a new file that I just showed you. There is another way to create a file in VS Code which is much quicker. But for you to use this method, that means you need to understand how file extensions work. Every digital file out there has what is called a file extension. The file extension is what determines the file type. Okay. Now, in every digital file you see, after the name of the file, you will see where they wrote dot, a particular set of words or a particular word. That's anything that comes after the name of the file, that comes after the dot, after the name of the file, is called the file extension in the digital file. For pictures, it is .jpg or .png and much more. For videos, you should see .mp4. For audio files, you see .mp3 right after the name of the file itself. Those .mp4, png, mp3 and whatever is the file extension. The file extension is what determines the file type. Alright, so for HTML, the file extension, as you can see, is .html right here. So going back to the second method to creating your HTML files in VS Code or other files in VS Code, what you need to do is you click on this icon right here. This icon represents new file. New file. So when you click on it, all you have to do is give your file a name. I'll give you the name main, then dot the file extension .html. And once I do that, you can see that my icon here has recognized this file as a HTML file because of the file extension here. If I should change this file extension to something else like CSS, you can see the icon here changed, or JS for JavaScript, the icon has also changed, or MP4 for video, the icon has changed to the video icon. That is why you need to be careful with your file extension. So I'm going to type HTML here, and I've created my file, my second HTML file. So that is the two separate ways of creating your HTML file with VS Code. Now let's get down to coding. Sorry, before we get down to the coding, there is one more extension we need to install for our VS Code that will enable us, that will help us a lot while we're practicing our web development, while you're practicing web development course. Yeah. So the extension is called the Live Server extension, and to get this extension, you need to click on the extensions icon here. You need to head to the extensions panel right here. So when you click here, it opens up the extensions panel by the side. Now remember, you need to be online for this extensions panel to fully work. So once you're here, click on the search bar right here and type in Live Server. Then you wait for it to load. Oh, mine showed me error. Oh, that means I have to restart my VS Code. Hold on. So when you type Live Server in the search bar here, you see a bunch of results. Click on the first result, which is Live Server by today. As you can see, this particular extension has over 38 million downloads recorded here. Okay, it's one of the most popular extensions used in VS Code for web developers. Like I said before, what the Live Server does is that it compiles your code and then displays it in your browser in real time. Which means as you're working on your code, you can see the changes you're making to your code in your web browser. So let's carry on. So when you're done installing, you should see the disable and uninstall button right here. Also down here, you should see the go live icon here. Now that we're done with that, let's close this tab and click on the Explorer icon and head to index.html. Now, we're not going to talk about anything related to coding in this video. Like I said, this part of the video is for the introduction to VS Code. So let's do just that. What I want you guys to do next is in your index.html file, simply type exclamation mark and press enter. This will bring out a bunch of HTML code for you. Don't worry about this code for now. When you reach the HTML tutorial portion of the version of this course, you will learn about what all this code here means. So, in between these two texts called body here, put your cursor there and just type hello world. Once you're done with this, click on go live. Now, if it's the first time you're clicking go live, you'll be asked for permission. That means the Live Server extension will ask your system for permission to access both your public and your private network. Grant it access so that it can do its job. So as you can see, the Live Server has opened up my default browser and it is displaying the text I typed in my VS Code here, hello world. You will notice that it is not displaying the other HTML code and text, but like I said, all those will be explained to you in the HTML tutorial part of this course. So that is how how VS Code works and how it's useful for coding your web. Like I said, any change I make to this code, let's attach something here. This is my first website way. Oh, sorry, that's way. And I save this using Command S or Control S, depending on which PC you're using. For Windows PC, it is Control S. For Mac PC, it is Command S. Now, if I head back to my browser, you can see that the text has appeared here. Hello world, this is my first website. Hooray. And with this, we've rounded up with the VS Code introduction. Other features of VS Code will be talked about as the course proceeds along. Thank you very much.